And we'll go through how to understand it, and we'll see what is. Let me even bring the requirement actually. So we've got this requirement. It's the interview one that Titi sent. So it's prepare a short piece of analysis focusing on time spent on tickets, exploring ways this can be used to provide useful insights. So we can use either Excel, PowerPoint, or Power BI. You'll be given 20 minutes in order to present your findings. This would include your analysis, observations, and presentable charts or pivot tables. Remember, any information presented must provide actionable insights. So these are our key points. We need to focus on time spent on tickets and look for the various ways that we can use it to provide not just insights, but our insight has to be actionable. They must be able we must be able to make recommendations basically to them. So as we go through the data set, we'll remember these so that we can, as we interact, we'll start having ideas. Okay, so this is the data set. All I've done was I put filter. It's not in table format, or I just put filter. So I've just clicked there to remove the filter. So it's just a range of columns and rows, that we've got here. And if we go down to see how many rows it is, this count 2. Is it 2? Come on, it's not 2. There's more than 2. Okay, let me put in a table and see if I'll be able to actually capture that well. I don't know why it's saying that there is 2-ish. The other time it was 53,000 something that I saw. So I'm going to insert table. We'll work in a table. Yeah, so it's picked everything up. Our table has headers, and we okay that. And then what's happened is gone on to put our headers, the headers as white font, so we can change that into any color we want. So we'll work with black font. Most of the time, I find that when you change to table, the headers, something happens to the header. It turns the font turns white. I don't know what causes that, but yeah, we can always rectify that. So we're working in a table. And the first one says ID. I've changed this data up as much as I can. So I've changed it up a little. I wonder if this was just 2, or I'm very sure it wasn't 2. It was more than 2, so I must have touched something there. Looks like either my laptop is messing up, or I'm the one that's messing it up. One of the two is happening right now. So I'm just going to, make that more than 2. 2 is not right for that place. So
can you not check the data she sent to you?
This is the data, yes.
Oh no, I mean, if you changed anything there, you may be able to see the ID on the one she sent to you, isn't it?
Yeah, I can. I just don't want to go through that hassle. But yeah, it's something
Okay.
I can go to the original, but it doesn't matter right now. That's why I did that. I just changed it to anything. These are just randomly generated IDs. And then that says, if we look through for blanks, let's see if we've got any blanks. Okay, there are no blanks. Okay, fair enough. And then it says status here. Let's remember that we are dealing with a business that uses tickets, and we've been asked to analyze and make our focus to be on time spent on tickets. So I would assume for now that these are the ticket IDs, you know. Then we see here status, so which will be talking about the status of the ID. So we have either closed or resolved. Closed, they are either closed or they are resolved, okay? Then we have response level, okay? Now, response level, in this format, we've got all of this. We've got some blanks, and we've got some hashtag NAs, okay? So let's keep taking note of that. And we've got logged on, so the dates that these were logged were in 2023 and 2022. Okay. All right. And if we look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's something that's been hidden here. If we look at the row numbers here, it's not following properly. So 4, 5, 5 is not there, 6 is not there. I'm just going to unhide that to see. Just to see what that part is about, if we can see it. Come on. And even we can see how that row, okay. There's a certain icon that needs to come so that.
Why don't you select 4 to 7? No, the whole rows. No, the other side. No, from 4.
Okay.
From 4, drag it down to 7 or so.
Okay.
Then double click in the middle, anywhere on the lines or something.
Okay, let's do that again.
Double
Anywhere on
click
the line.
in the middle of the
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, yeah.
You see, we live to learn. Okay. So now we have those unhidden. I mean, this might be part of their test to see if one is very attentive to details. It's so easy to miss that some rows were hidden, and there could be more. And the good thing about this work is that it's been sent before time. So they send it to you to work on. Then you can come and defend it at interview. It's not a case of you are solving it right there with them during the interview. That would be hard, I think. That would be extra pressure. So we've seen the dates. Then we see resolved service. Resolved service, whatever that means, maybe how the ticket was resolved. Was it by email, on network? That doesn't make sense. Device. Okay, yeah, I think it's what that ticket was about. Resolved service. What do you think? Capital One, Citrix. Okay, let's keep going if we don't have an idea yet. Then known error.
Yeah, I think that was the IT issue.
Right.
You know,
That the ticket was raised for.
Yes, then the IT kind of resolved it. So probably that was had to do with email. The other one had to do with Wi-Fi. The other one probably a laptop or something wasn't working.
Right. That
So they
makes sense.
open and close tickets for all those things.
Right. That's right. Okay. So it's making more sense. Known error access printer slash scanner slash plotter, access to application, amend access to shared network, broken part requires replacing. Okay, so this duplicate call, display name is incorrect. I think, yeah, this, it looks like, something similar to what we are saying here. Write-up, the write-ups for each of these, for example, Outlook email, and now the write-up about it is released email from a quarantine. So it's just further information about each.
Like a comment.
Yes.
Comment on the query. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. Now, resolution person, or who it was resolved by. I've changed these names up. So you see some funny names there. I couldn't change up because there's quite a lot. But I tried to change as many as I could. Going for all of it was almost impossible, almost. And then I changed resolution team as well. So resolution team, we now have it as CS service desk. So the team each of these people belong to that resolved the tickets. Then we have the dates, I noticed resolution time. Okay, so dates and then the time it was resolved. And these were, I want to believe these were not part of what was sent to somebody for the interview. This must have been left there by whoever that interview was for us. They try to, remember we done this where using the date, you can extract which day that date was using equals text formula. So equals text, then K2, this column here, comma, and because they wanted short day, DDD. If they wanted full day, a fourth D would be there, and if they wanted just the day, as in the day number, the date, it would just be 2 Ds, and then the week, this formula was used to get the week number, ISO week num, and the month, this formula was used to get the month out. Resolution year, equals year was used. We could have used equals text as well to get the year out. But that's a bonus for us that had been done. Incident category. So each incident has got its own category. And these are, business systems incident, CS change, CS incident ticket, CS lever, and so on and so forth. Incident source, so auto email, face-to-face manual, and there's some blanks there. Incident source we've just seen. Resolution ticket, it's just the year. So this is just more about the date. And then the client, there's quite a lot of columns as well. The clients, that the services were provided for, I believe. Closed by, whoever closed it. I thought resolved and closed would have been the same. I didn't touch that. Infrastructure, whatever this means. Hours spent on tickets. So this is exactly what we need, because the business requirement says time spent on tickets. So this is going to be the backbone, like the measure that we use to analyze a lot of these columns in my own view. In and out of SLA, number of users affected, and that goes on and on. Number of hours service was available for. I think that's something that one can use to analyze as well. But this particular requirement has asked for this, not really that. So then resolution notes further information about, that we're not going to need all of this, because whatever you find out, your presentation is just within 20 minutes as well to explain yourself and make your recommendation. So you don't want to overdo. You want to focus on, So do we get the whole gist of this data? Do we think we are fine with it or not? Do we understand everything about it? Then we can proceed.
It kind of makes sense that it's an IT department trying to deal with queries,
Yeah,
and they open tickets for each query, and once it's resolved, they close that ticket.
yeah, that's correct. Thank
So
you very much.
yeah, I think that's what it's all about.
Okay, thank
So we
you.
want to know the time spent on each ticket.
Yeah,
So we want to know the ticket that they resolve quickly and the one that is taking late. Probably the average and all those kind of things. Average time spent. Yeah.
okay. One other thing I believe we should take care of, we've looked through, how about our data cleaning, to clean up where, for example,
There's some blanks, yeah.
Yeah, some blanks. Some of the blanks won't necessarily concern this report, but some would, and those are the queries one would take back to them as a business to ask them questions as well. Maybe one would just let them know that in the instance where I can't get it, I will be asking you. I'll be asking you guys about it. Then the data type for where especially for dates, and I see that dates fine. ID is seen as number, which I'm not gonna be too fussy about today. But the actual one that concerns us, are spent on ticket, okay, is seen as general. So it might be worth changing that to number, and I've got a lot. Okay, so there's 0.25. I was gonna remove the decimal points, but I see that we've got some not whole numbers there, so I'll leave it with the decimal. Number of users affected as well. That might be changed to number 2. And this can be whole number because it's human beings we are talking about. There's no half person. Okay. So number of hours services was unavailable for. One might want to change that. Logged week. So these are just week numbers, which we won't necessarily add. So I'll leave that be. Is there anything that jumps out at you that we should be dealing with before we start our analysis?
About the blanks.
The blanks, okay. So if we look through these, the IDs don't have blanks, so I'll leave that be.
What
Status,
about duplicates for IDs?
good. How about duplicate for IDs? So, or even for the whole, but IDs. So how about we check and see? Do we just check first or just remove duplicate straight?
I think we should check first. Really.
Okay, so We are going into home, highlight. So we just want to, highlight and, paint the town red. Okay. We see there are duplicates, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we've got duplicate data. Okay. These duplicates, because we've only chosen a column, until the whole row, all of the rows are the same, we can't call it duplicate data. We've got duplicate column, but that does not necessarily mean that we've got duplicate data. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the particular ID might have been used more than once. So
yes, so it's
yeah.
Exactly. So it's worth being sure, and that is why I would just go into the data, and one can just pick everything, go into data, and where we have remove duplicates, it's even pick the whole table, So what is it? Cancel. So I'll go back to that. So it's picked all of the columns, which is the best thing to do, not just one column, but the whole. So now let's see if it finds duplicate rows. So we are saying remove duplicate rows, and it's saying no duplicate found. So those ones highlighted there, they are not necessarily, duplicate rows. It's just the column that had the duplicates, so to say, so, and we don't have that coloring anymore, because, okay, we have, yes, but no duplicates record is what I should be saying. There isn't any duplicate record. So I'm going to remove that, clear that row that I put there. Clear row from this table. Okay, so that is that about duplicates. So duplicates have been taken care of. It's now the blanks, that are an issue. Okay, and more than anything, again, it's good to decide how you want to do your analysis so that you don't spend time on all of these columns when most of them are not going to be useful to your report, So you want to make up your mind, okay, I want to analyze these number of hours spent on tickets. I want to analyze by, what do you want to analyze by? Is it by incident source, incident category, or is it by year? Maybe you want to use, compare the 2 years and see which took more of the time, or by client, So you've got to make your decision, because they didn't give you any specification. So you can work the way you deem fit now. Okay, because like I said, not all the columns are going to be needed. So what columns should we be focusing on?
What about against ID?
Yeah.
Ticket ID.
Okay, so against IDs, okay. Against IDs, then against what else could we use? Maybe the service, resolved service.
Status.
Status, closed and resolved. Even this is not very clear. What do they mean by when it's resolved? It's normally closed, isn't it?
There are two separate things though. Close means it was closed probably, but was not resolved. Resolved means it was resolved.
Right, I see.
Yeah, I think sometimes they have a SLA. with this kind of job, that is when you raise a ticket, they need to address it within a certain number of days. And if they reach out to the person and the person even did not respond back to them, after that number of days, they will close the ticket.
I see. What's SLA?
Service level
level
agreement.
agreement, yeah.
Service level agreement. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Okay. All right. And then the blanks that we have we got blanks in that column where we have hours spent? Because if that one has blanks, then it has got blanks. Let's check out the blanks. I'm just gonna, uncheck all and then select the blanks just to see what those blanks are about. Okay. Now, the blanks. Okay, service level agreement. Let's have a look together. Are they all closed? There are some that are resolved. Okay, so how many are there that are blank? About 895 blanks on the number of hours. Okay, so I mean, this might be part of what one takes to them. Why aren't number of hours spent logged on certain ones and they are logged on the other ones? Whose job was it? Maybe whoever was supposed to handle, or however they should have handled it, that needs looking into. That system that records the time, needs looking into if some are blank. Let's also
What I just thought of, Sister Debbie?
Yeah.
The ones that are closed, they kind of relate to the ones that are blank. So no hours were spent on them. If you kind of filter out resolved, we could see that, it correlates with we will see that time is spent on resolved. But on the closed one, no time was spent on it. It was just closed.
Now that we filtered on blank, so we've got blanks now. I'm expecting not to find any resolved here.
Yes.
Only closed. But there are some resolved here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some are resolved and they don't have that they don't have that that number recorded. But there's something let me filter this. There's something I saw I wanted to look into where it says manual. I saw something where it says manual. Maybe it's because it was a manual entry or something. I've lost that. Service request. I can't see it anymore. I saw a lot of manual with these blanks, and I wanted to check where I saw it just to be sure. Maybe it's because it was something to do with it being done in a manual way. Service request category. It's all these categories that are not, okay, closed by, nobody closed them. So whoever closed them was not recorded either. And which client? Oh, so there's quite a few clients. I wanted to, pick on one client just to see if they are the culprits, but they are not.
Or is it that it just closed automatically by the system?
But if it's got to do with the system automatically, records these things, doesn't it? We should be able to anyway.
Because somebody has to report it, and if they report it, I think it's logged or they have to report it through maybe all the softwares.
Yeah, and it's resolved by. So these people resolved those things.
Okay.
I can't find any answer to it here, but the fact is those times were not recorded. So in a way that sort of affects the analysis. But if we don't have the data, there's nothing we can do. We can't generate data, you know. They don't have it, they don't have it. Is what I can think of. Where is it again so that I can unfilter it? And then we can move forward.
So should we fill in the blanks with something to show unknown or something, or not available, or
if we put unknown there, that field will not be a number field anymore. If we put text there, and it's a number field, you know. So this is what I was going up and down for.
That's true.
So I mean, in the pivot table, we can uncheck the blank and just, you know. So let's insert our pivot table. Any issues that we find, we can always come back and, you know. But I see that with this data set, a lot of cleaning, because the pivot table bit is not very difficult, but there's a lot of work involved in, you know, setting the data itself right. And there's quite tens of thousands of rows that needs to be looked into. So if one can spend time to really document issues that are found there, correct the ones that are correctable, you know, but there's no correction you can make here without consulting the business first. Is a problem, you know. But as much as you are given, get the work done and tell them your recommendations. For example, what we just found out now, that some number of hours spent are not recorded. Then you are recommending to them that if we look into what the categories that fall into that, why are they not getting recorded? That needs to be looked into so that a system can be put in place to capture them, you know, for data quality purpose, you know. So that's one thing to push across to them. Okay. So if I put hours spent on there, look at that. And it comes with 1E plus 12, you know, and that's because of the blanks and, you know, whatever else they have configured into that column. So I'm just going to click on here to format this number format, right click and number format. Can we see it's on general? So although we change it to number, but it's still on general on here. I have no idea what that is about, but we'll change it here and see. Okay, so that changes. And it's this many hours that were, you know, spent within the 2 years. That's a lot of hours to spend on tickets alone. And now we are saying, so what are you saying? Should we say by status, or should we look at it by status?
I think we can look at it by the type of issues that were raised. Because if you go back to that data, there's the different issue. Maybe some of them were.
Which columns?
I think I saw.
Resolve service.
Yeah, is that resolve service? I think there was another one. Because that can also give you an idea the
incident
area,
category.
Yeah, the area where people are having problem, you know. So again, that might be one recommendation. Maybe you need to have a super user, you know, within the team that can maybe train people up in that area. Maybe people are just not knowing what they're doing. That's why they keep calling for help.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, you see, we are getting answers already. Okay, so the first one was by incident category, that one, but we're going to change this from incident category to maybe incident source, you know, for the second one, you know. So it's just a matter of now, it's just a matter of using this same sum of number of hours spent to look into different, maybe by client as well.
That incident source can give you an idea whether people prefer to come in person, you know, to get their problem resolved,
or by email,
or they just like to do it by email. It looks like emails as the largest. I don't know which one has the largest number. So
this one that's blank, there's a blank here, and NA, you know, these two is blank and it's got really massive number to it. Don't know how valid that number is, but yeah, it is valid, you know. So if we decide to sort from largest to smallest, we can see. So this has got this many hours to it. Why is it blank? You know, that's something to look into. And that is incident source, isn't it? We don't know which source it's coming from.
Yeah, so that might be issue with the quality of the data, how they are actually capturing this information. Again, that could be a feedback as well.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Very, very valid feedback to, you know, to give to them. I'm just going to carry on working with just this one. We'll just change things around so that we'll not waste time. Then by infrastructure, you know, whatever these infrastructures mean, you know, these many hours are spent on tickets, NBC being the most, you know. Yeah.
So infrastructure could be the system that they use, you know, in attending to these things. So again, they have different names, so we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So known error. Okay. Now I'm beginning to relate more now. Delete data entry, device not booting. Okay, this is the one you were talking about, I think, the error, the actual error. Yeah. So if we sort these by largest to smallest, we can see known error is not even the best column header for that because that was not too obvious. But maybe error type or problem type that was
or issue type.
Exactly. So that's also a good feedback that one can order. You know, this is as high. So most of their high ranking where the number of hours are spent are not well categorized.
Yeah, and now we're captured.
Yeah. Order. What's that? What's order?
Okay, so those are the feedback that you can can give to money, because you can also see that the number of hours is being spent on this area, meaning that is also somewhere where the companies might be losing money, or
definitely, or they are losing money because these companies that handle this type of request for businesses, they are paid by ticket numbers and the time they spend on it as well. So that's what they are paid by. So
a good way to save cost if they're able to look into that and get it reduced.
Yeah. So then maybe months and years, resolution year. Let's look at year. Let's see which year took the most. So I'm going to remove the known error and the year resolution. Yeah. Let's bring the year in. So why is 2022 splitting? We got through 2022s for some reason. So it's worth going back into the data to check why 2022 is categorized into different places. But yes, but in all, we can see 2023, there was most issues in 2023. So one can then drill down. So in 2023, what were those issues? Maybe this is where you want to do something like a matrix. Okay. So if we use this same one, so I'll bring the year here, and then we want to look at the error type. It was it error type, known error? So we want to look at that by known error and see, okay, and see, we can remove the grand total, to be honest. In 2022, other had that much. 2023, this big, and then blank, extended use of account. How did we jump from not having much issues in those years to having this much in 2023? What changed? Advanced information required. Okay, so there's a whole jump in all of the categories here between 2022 and 2023. And the changes that they made that caused that need to be revisited. Maybe they were migrating data for the business and a lot of issues crept up, and people were not finding whatever it was that they needed. I think we've done it by client. But yeah, maybe one can drop clients here to see CCCC, so you can resolve, or you can analyze under each client what exactly happened, by what, and in what year did those occurrences happen. From almost nothing, application upgrade, you see, is it order? It's order, okay. I thought that was application upgrade. I was gonna say, from 0.1, in the whole of 2022, how did we get to having this many hours spent on tickets, So there's quite a lot of insights that can be generated from here, and a lot of recommendations that can be made. At first, I thought this was going to be one of those, but it's actually an exciting one to interact with.
Yeah, they probably wanted to be an investigator.
Yeah, well, that's what a data analyst does. You are a data detective. You're detecting various and finding out the culprits and arresting them, basically. And arresting them.